and most especially where those elections are going to be held, that we will campaign and they all see the good work the governor is doing for the state. And to be able to tap into that, they have to also ensure that they vote so that we can have one goal. While the federal legislators are working at federal to attract things to the state, the governor will also be working with that synergy. Their various constituencies will benefit more from the government. So we are going to campaign to them, to let them know that we are going to work for them, and we will also appeal to them to vote for our candidate at the end of it. And again, now that we have candidates that have emerged in our various primaries, we want to mainly hit the ground running for campaign. We are going to campaign as if we have never campaigned in this state before, because of the way we are taking this election seriously. Because we want to affirm that we actually won the election, the last governorship election overwhelming. We want to prove to the whole world, to Edo State, to Nigerians, that we actually won those elections. So we are not going to leave any stone unturned in campaign, and we are also sure that anybody who tries to stand on our way will smoke that person out. Well, since morning, while the primaries were going on, there has been a lot of criticism all over the press about the statement that Governor made yesterday when he was receiving one of the remaining of PDP and those central, where he said that Peter Obi has to take permission before that. And I think the governor was right in saying that, because we are also saying that the governor can say that because of the kind of hatred that people have for Peter Obi in the state, including me. And when you have people, so many of us that have such hatred for people like that, especially when they came to Edo State and people died, it is proper for him to tell the governor before he will come, so that people like us will be sent on errand out of Edo before he can come and possibly go. I'm sure that's the reason why the governor made that statement. Is that why I think the governor made that statement, and it's correct, and we support him in whatever he's saying. So whatever anybody is saying, they're just saying rubbish. And I also want to send a message to people who call themselves APC in the state, that they should be very careful, because we only have PDP remaining, not APC. So if you want to identify with APC, you have to leave and do for us. That is my message to all of them. And we want to appeal to Edo State people, and most especially where those elections are going to be held, that we will campaign and they all see the good work the governor is doing for the state.
Chairman of the APC in Edo States clearly threatening Peter Obi, that he hates Peter Obi, and there are a lot of persons who hate Peter Obi, and that the only way that Peter Obi can be guaranteed safety is to stay away from the state. So that the last time he came to the States, three persons died. You know, I really didn't see that kind of venom, that kind of anger when we had the deaths of Fulani men, or Fulani hunters who were trying to pass through Edo to Kano State. I didn't see. I mean, there are a myriad of problems. There are people who die almost every day owing to insecurity in the state. But using that particular story as a yardstick to say Peter Obi should not come to the state is just begging for, you know, chaos. Because again, what they are doing is just laying the foundation for chaos for the 2027 elections. Because at the end of the day, look at it from all sides, really. Nobody has a monopoly of violence. I keep saying this. You have an AK-47. Somebody can actually have much more than that. You think you have 100 men who fight. Somebody can actually have the 200. You know, and now it's becoming a pattern, especially with governors of states. We've seen that happen in Benue State, saying that Peter Obi would cannot in any way be guaranteed his safety. You can imagine that, for a governor. So all of a sudden, you are now assuming security of the state. But when it comes to armed headsmen attacking your people, killing your people, you are powerless. It's just crazy. It just tells where these politicians have their priorities. Anyways, we're moving straight to the papers this morning, and we're kicking off on the Tribune newspaper. On the Tribune this morning, tough choices for CBN over interest rates. Retired officers protest ensure peaceful conduct. Security IGP tells CPs. Find out the details of that. Of course, it's not all far from what we know to be salaries, and the likes. Some other headlines on the Tribune this morning. Tinubu Bakare reveal Awujale's role in June 12 formation of the APC. That is Tinubu Bakare reveal Awujale's role in June 12 and the formation of the APC. To some other headlines that is quite interesting. Withdrawal threats, apologize to Obi. Falana tells Edo governor. Okpebolo says security protocols must be followed. Senate to Natasha, stay away from National Assembly. Senate to Natasha, stay away from National Assembly. Okay, becoming quite interesting, and I think it's becoming more of a personal disposition by the Senate on this matter. Other headline on the Tribune newspaper this morning. Vessels incur losses as debris litter Nigerian waterways. Obi won't be denied rights to seek presidential ticket, says ADC. Party asks Tinubu to appoint ambassadors. All right, still on the Tribune newspaper. WAEC to release 2025 May-June exam results August 4th. All right, to release 2025 May-June exams results August 4th, 2025. All right, WAEC is already telling everyone to listen. In another 2 weeks or so, WAEC will be releasing a May-June exam. So just in case you have a friend that have a friend that have a friend that did the exam, so they should be expecting the results. Nel Fund loans to students hits 77 billion naira in 1 year. Find out the details this morning. All right, we're moving over to the next newspaper we have for you, and that is The Punch. On The Punch this morning, Okpebolo slams Obi as Edo movement ban ignites clash. Okpebolo slams Obi as Edo movement ban ignites backlash. Nigerians spent over $3.6 billion annually on foreign health care under Buhari. Okay, Nigeria spends over $3.6 billion annually on foreign health care under Buhari. I can imagine how much 3.7 billion or $3.6 billion would do in terms of establishing a world-class hospital in Nigeria. We're just a country that have refused to do the right thing, and it's just so unfortunate. Okay, let's move quickly to other headlines on The Punch this morning. 2027, race to 2027. PDP's flag bearer battle begins after Atiku's exit. Zoning consensus strategy top Thursday's PDP's neck agenda. Makinde Bala I ticket. All right, to find out the details. Awujale's blessings paved way for my 2023 victory, says Tinubu. National Assembly showdown. Senate draws battle lines over Natasha's return. Doctors to begin nationwide strike Thursday. Zenith Bank emerges Nigeria's best bank as at 2025 Euro Money Awards. All right. Doctors to begin nationwide strike on Thursday. This isn't really looking good if they would allow this to happen right before our own eyes. All right. Now moving over to The Nation newspaper this morning. On The Nation, Muslim Christian prayers end ex-President Buhari's mourning week. Awujale's predicted my second term victory, says Tinubu. Well, just anything, just anything, just to keep the glam going, just to keep the rumors going, anything, just about anything. You could just say it. As long as you say it, the papers will take it. So Abuja predicted my second term victory, says Tinubu. President eulogizes Oba at Daytona. All right. Indeed, he predicted. There are other things that he must have predicted. He also predicted hardship for the Nigerian people. He also predicted that the president is going to go to, the foreign lands to, check his health. There are several other things that he predicted, I guess, that the president may have missed out. So I'm sure that in due course he will tell us more about the prediction by Awojale. States slow down on loans following rise in revenue. Petrol subsidy removal raises income. DMO 27 states have cut borrowing. Petrol subsidy removal raises income. DMO 27 states have cut borrowing. Petrol subsidy removal raises income. DMO 27 states have cut borrowing. All right, that's an interesting one. I hope that the cut would mean that they have increased their internally generated revenue, I guess. All right, let's see if we can grab another headlines for you this morning. Let's see what we have. We've done the Tribune, we've done the Nation, we've done the Punch, and now we're doing a bit of the Daily Independent newspaper. On the Daily Independent newspaper, we have the screaming headlines just below the mass this morning. Let's check it out. First, Holdco 1 trillion naira. NPLs cast shadow over to the last takeover. The rider legacy loan crisis threatens turnaround efforts as experts lament it puts at risk 10 lenders' recapitalization drive. Still on the Daily Independent newspaper, still politics. ADC taunts Tinubu over promise to provide 24-hour electricity. Tackles president over failure to appoint ambassador. Stay away from National Assembly. Senate warns Natasha, says it won't tolerate disruption of proceedings. Indeed. Well, her presence would disrupt proceedings, I can only imagine. Let's see other headlines on the Daily Independent newspaper this morning. Retired police officers plan protests will ill time, says PSC. Retired police officers plan protests ill time, says PSC. Well, is there ever a good time to ask for your retirement package? I can only imagine what it is. I've not read the story, but I just feel that it must have to be, the fact that they have refused to pay them their gratuities or their pensions, as the case may be. 6 trillion naira. Serap sues Tinubu over failure to publish NDDC forensic report. Governors, media chiefs, dignitaries to attend Lateef Jakonde Memorial lecture July 23rd in Lagos. Our history wouldn't have been complete if I lost in 2023, says Tinubu, says 2023 victory. June 12th, struggle aided by Awojale's blessings. Indeed. Why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it be? Because he won. A report of cancellation of 2025 WAEC exams falls, Education Minister. All right, it's false indeed because we're hearing that the results of that particular exam will be out by 4th of August. So if you have a friend, a sibling who did that exam, tell them to expect it in 2 weeks. Today is already 21st, and so we expect to see that in another 2 weeks. All right, let's move over to the Guardian newspaper. On the Guardian this morning, Edo Benue governors under fire over threats to Obi. Well, it's become a pattern for some people. Some persons think that these two persons who are governors are not supposed to have threatened Obi in the way and manner that they did, and it's just so untoward. I mean, if every state government start threatening people, start threatening their candidates, and I keep asking this question: if Peter Obi was a northerner, would Edo State governor have the guts, the audacity to say what they said? If Peter Obi was a northerner, can Aliyah, who calls himself a pastor, who parades himself as a pastor, can he, in his right mind, threaten Peter Obi not to come to Benue State because of what exactly? It's just so terrible. I mean, we're going to talk on that because there's a video trending right now where APC chairman in Edo State says that he and other people hates Peter Obi and they don't want to see him. And this is happening in a country where the constitution says that anybody can move to anywhere at any point in time. And the painful part is the presidency hasn't said a word about this. I mean, anarchy is brewing. Like I always say, nobody has the monopoly of chaos and anarchy. They are just building and the trajectory of how to rig the 2027 election. If they threaten you, you don't go. Then the next thing is you just have to let go because they're going to do their bidding. So I'm sure that's exactly what they're trying to do. But time will really tell. NBA proposes changes to Electoral Act once Beavers IREV legalized. NBA proposes changes to Electoral Act once Beavers IREV legalized. Well, it's good that we have this because again, INEC, made a mess of that 2023 elections, made a huge mess. So the only way is that if Beavers is not used, then it will be cancelled. The result in that location will be cancelled. IFA councils to sue Ogun government over Awojale's burial. MPC caught in rate court trade-offs as banks demand CRR review. All right, still on the Guardian newspaper this morning. Let's see. EERC revises Band A tariff from 209 to 160 naira per kilowatts. That's EERC revises Band A tariff from 209 naira to 160 naira per kilowatt. And this is quite an interesting one because we keep hearing that the power is going up every single day. But I mean, for the Enugu Electricity Regulatory Commission to reduce the price of Band A to 160 naira, I mean, it's quite shocking, isn't it? It's quite shocking. I'm sure I'm going to do a story about that a little later in the day. So watch out for that particular story on this channel. State Power Commissioners reject Senate's move to amend Electricity Act. State Power Commissioners reject Senate's move to amend Electricity Act. Tinubu Bakare laud Awojale's contribution to APC's political success. Interesting, right? Okay, so PSC others false planned protest by ex-officers over pension scheme. All right, well, pay them what they are owed. That's all I can say. I mean, if they are not owed, they won't be on or up and about protesting. On the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, Governor Rada involved in Daura Katsina road crash. Oh my goodness. Governor Rada involved in Daura Katsina road crash. Find out the details on the Daily Trust. Economists differ on Naira stability amidst $4.1 billion CBN intervention. High fertilizer costs, farmers dump rice, maize cultivation. OMG. And these are the things that Nigerians eat a lot. Rice, maize, rich in carbohydrate, I'm wondering what happens, if farmers dump this. I hope it's about time that the federal government steps in into this particular story. Stay away from National Assembly. Senate warns Natasha. We're singing, stay away from Edo State. Governor Babala warns Peter Obi. Stay away from Benue State. Governor Aliyah warns Peter Obi. Now, there's a stay away order on Natasha. Natasha is saying that she's going to resume tomorrow. It's going to be quite interesting to see what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. Let's see what happens and how she's going to resume, whether she will resume, because again, Ababio had appealed the court ruling, so they're asking that let the courts finish it. That's the only way that she can resume. But the senator is saying that she's going to resume tomorrow. Anyways, fingers crossed. Pension scheme. Retired police officers protest today. ADC to Tinubu, no electricity, no vote for you in 2027. Well, yeah, Tinubu had actually told Nigerians some time ago, just before he became president, because he campaigned on it, that if he doesn't provide electricity for Nigerians, then it is the easiest thing to do. Vote him out. Don't bring him back in 2027. And truth be told, 2 years down the line, electricity hasn't really been at its best. We've had grid collapse every now and then. Well, some people say it's grid collapse every AK market day. And it really doesn't look like it's going to be that clean, that clear, that direct. It doesn't look like anything is happening really good, but everybody is hoping that power improves, but it hasn't been like that. 5 months after, a probe of alleged Boko Haram funding drags in National Assembly. 5 months after, probe of alleged Boko Haram funding drags in National Assembly. All right. Let's see what we have on the Vanguard newspaper. The Vanguard has got some interesting headlines and they are filled up. Let's see. Just above the masts, 2025 SSCE. Disregard report on purported cancellation. Federal government WAEC tell public governors, media chiefs for Lateef Jokonde's lecture in Lagos, July 23rd. That 23rd is just 2 days away. Late Abuja less stood for revalidation of June 12 polls, says Tinubu. Still on the Vanguard newspaper this morning. This is a screaming headline below the mast. YOB Erufai are yet to join ADC, says Bolaji Abdullahi. With a writer, ex-PDP Governors Forum DG joins ADC. Obedience one party against selling presidential tickets to highest bidder. Omo Agege has no plan to leave APC, but, well, find out the details. No ADC leader can inherit Buhari's 12 million block votes, says Okechukwu. Ooh, my goodness. Nigerian politics, quite an interesting move, if you ask me. Quite an interesting move. Everyone is asking for the 12 million vote that Buhari had. What was the 12 million vote exactly? What was it exactly? Defection. Adeleke's negotiations hits brick wall. APC source says subsidy removal, turnover profit soar in oil companies. Turnover profit soar in oil companies. That's still on the Vanguard newspaper this morning. All right. I think that's just about what we have for you on the papers, the front page of the papers this morning. We're following these developments that seem to be one that everyone is talking about, and it really does not looking good. APC chairman in Edo State has threatened Peter Obi once again that he hates Peter Obi, and because he hates Peter Obi should not in any way find himself close to Edo State. And this again has reignited a lot of conversation online. We'll take some reactions right after I must have played this video for you.
And again, now that we have candidates that have emerged in our various primaries, we want to mainly hit the ground running for campaign. We are going to campaign as if we have never campaigned before, because of the way we are taking this election seriously. Because we want to affirm that we actually won the election, the last governorship election overwhelming. We want to prove to the whole world, to Edo State, to Nigerians, that we actually won those elections. So we are not going to leave any stone unturned in campaign. And we're also sure that anybody who tries to stand on our way will smoke that person out. Well, since morning while the primaries were going on, there has been a lot of criticism all over the press about the statement that Governor made yesterday when he was receiving one of the remaining of PDP and those central, where he said that Peter Obi has to take permission before he starts. And I think the governor was right in saying that, because we are also saying that the governor can say that because of the kind of hatred that people have for Peter Obi in the state, including me. And when you have people, so many of us that have such hatred for people like that, especially when they came to Edo State and people died, it is proper for him to tell the governor before he will come, so that people like us will be sent on errand out of Edo before he can come and possibly go. I'm sure that's the reason why the governor made that statement. Is that why the governor made that statement? And it's correct. And we support him in whatever he's saying. So whatever anybody is saying, they're just saying rubbish. And I also want to send a message to people who call themselves APC in the state that they should be very careful, because we only have PDP remaining, not APC. So if you want to identify with APC, you have to leave and do for us. That is my message to all of them. And we want to appeal to Edo State people, and most especially where those elections are going to be held, that we will campaign and they all see the good work the government is doing for the state. And to be able to tap into that, they have to also ensure that they vote so that we can have one way. While the federal legislators are working at federal to attract things to the state, the government will also be working with that synergy. Their various constituencies will benefit more from the government. So they should.
Anyways, that was the chairman of Edo APC, Tenebe, making comments that are quite incendiary, and even threatened ADC. I mean, I'm wondering, using words like smoke you out. ADC should be very careful. The people we have here are PDP and APC, not ADC. I'm just thinking to myself, who are these people? How did these guys come onto power? Who gave them the opportunity of this magnitude? People who are leaders, people who are young, who are in the university, people who are in the secondary school will be watching this and be violent, because that's exactly what these people are preaching: violence, threats. Politics are supposed to be mostly straightforward. We understand that betrayal is part of politics. We understand that games is part of politics. But for crying out loud, I mean, threats, death shouldn't be part of politics. Let's take some reactions regarding this development, because I'm sure that obedience are going to come for him. Lyrics Mo says, have in mind that some people choose party loyalty over the general growth of their people or the nation. For some people, the country is okay. Make Peter Obi no spoiler. Indeed. Great Taga says he should not change mouth tomorrow. Purely Ugo said, you know why? He is Igbo. He is an Igbo man who dared to run for presidency. He is an Igbo. He's an Igbo. 4, he is Igbo. 5, he is Igbo. And yes, he is Igbo. That's the reason why. I asked the question earlier. If this guy was a northerner, would these people be talking like this? Anyways, other persons who had reacted to this is stop bringing in tribe, please. Make your statement and leave the issue of tribe. All right, let's take other reactions to this threat by the chairman of APC in Edo State. Edo people, is he speaking on you people's behalf? What is your reason for hating him? Peter Obi, the air you all breathe. You thought Governor Amunike was wicked, Abi? You see people in power? Okay, if this man na your husband, papa, uncle, brother, cousin, nephew, he no go better for you. No, I mean, we shouldn't go that far in abusing, going back and forth. But all I condemn is the total hatred comments that was made. Eke Mystery says, proudly announcing you all have hatred for someone who is 10,000 better than you all, just reeks of nothing but small-mindedness and jealousy. Oga, no worry, when Peter Obi win, they supply you free bleaching cream. It's crazy. Dazzling says, they will keep driving hate towards Obi, and until they successfully make all Nigerians, including the ones that hate him, create soft spot for Peter Obi in their hearts. How can we ever be progressives as leaders with these kinds of leaders? The nation is a reflection of its leaders. May God help Nigeria as a nation. Caroline Aide says that y'all are too scared of him. Another proof he won the 2023 elections. That only thing Tinubu has done in this nation is hatred breeding. APC defender of the universe. Oh yeah, come and defend your masters, or Mr. Jollof. There are gods and there is a God. Power belongs to God. Life is in its hands. Hatred is not of God. The Lord will arise and fight this battle. These are people's husbands. This one says Peter Obi has in Edo State, or was in Edo State earlier today, and nothing happened. Another proof that Obi won the 2023 election. APC are scared of him. A loosely divided country with no future of hope. Please, oh, I'm from Edo State and we love Peter Obi. We don't know this man or what he is saying. See innocent became best dad in the whole wide world. Just Negudu, innocent wife, husband of my youth. As far as I'm concerned, Peter Obi should not take this for granted. I think that he should press for charges. He should take them to court, so that he will know, they will know that this is very serious. Because when you make these kinds of comments and you have other persons who are making the same comments, you are already building something that is going to consume a lot of persons. In Edo State, there are a lot of persons who are passionate about Labour Party. Remember, he won Edo State in 2023, the presidential election. So changing the tide would be very terrible. I mean, we've seen Monday Obebolo say and boast that he's going to give 2.5 million votes to Siwaju Bola Tinubu. The 2.5 million votes belongs to Ahmed Bola Tinubu. And I'm wondering, really, I mean, if you look at the number of Edo voters, even though on papers there are 2.5, but hasn't been any time that up to 1.5 million people have come out to vote in Edo elections. At least I've followed the election since 2011. I've reported on Nigeria's presidential election since 2011 up until the last one. Edo State doesn't churn out 1.5. Like everybody's numbers are counted and you have 1.5. It's not possible. So when he comes and starts saying things like he's going to give 2.5 million voters, to Asiwaju, it's just it reeks of one, a case of somebody who is really either hallucinating or somebody who is trying to rig, because that's the only thing that I see that they want to do. They just want to rig the 2027 election, and the only person who is going to stop them, and looks like his support is organic, is Peter Obi. And like I said, nobody has the power or the monopoly of chaos. There are people who will emerge in Edo State, either from the ADC or from the Labour Party, that would go head on with these guys. And trust me, it's going to be chaotic.